So we're lying to the people. We're starting with that, right? Even
Yes.
though
Well,
we,
we've lied to the people a lot the past week.
all right, but we got an official name.
Yes. Gang, starting out today, we have a name. It's going to be the Flashing People Podcast. Now, we did say because we're a little bit naughty, a little bit cheeky, but also because we love flash photography. So we think it fits.
It definitely fits. Now, we said we had agreed, it was a verbal agreement, that if Flashing People Podcast won on the poll, that Scott would come out the gates without a shirt.
They
Now,
never agreed.
now we're not only are we lying to the people, but we're also depriving them.
I think we're sparing them. I think we're saving them. If I took my shirt off, I think we'd lose some listeners and some watchers here.
It would be the ones we wouldn't want.
You damn right.
Because we want, exactly. Oh,
If
we're positive people here.
if somebody doesn't appreciate all this beauty, then you know what? Fuck them. They don't need to be here.
100%. First F bomb. There we go. But officially, this is the Flashing People podcast. We're going with that. Not just because Scott was supposed to be shirtless, but also because we will be talking a lot about flash photography, not flashing people. I mean, flashing people might pop up too, but Flashing People podcast it is. We're
Yeah.
gonna on Spotify, Apple Music, right? You know how
Yep.
to. I'm making a lot of promises right now. I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah. Both those: Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
Perfect. There we go. So now that we have a channel name, we're still going to post this on your channel, right? I think number 3.
I don't know, because if we can get if we can kind of find a little logo real quick, we could go ahead and start getting it out there where it needs to be.
All right. Well, we'll decide that after. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. So let's jump right into it. We were writing down a few topics of discussion, right? And one of them just made it to the top of the motherfucking list with me.
Yeah, it's that trash ass Sony camera, right?
Dude, what the hell? Look at this. And when I tell you,
That's the hot shoe on there.
no, it's in the other hand.
Oh,
That's literally like, where's the back? So let me show you. I had it, I was shooting with it, and it wasn't sideways. Literally shooting with it standing up, and all of a sudden it went doof, and it just fell forward. What the hell? It was all the stress that I guess it was building. And when I say all, I mean all 5 photo shoots that I've used this on. Which that's garbage. Scott, please elaborate. I'm getting mad.
yeah. Let me take over on this one. Now, was this the A9?
The A9 is fine. It wasn't the camera. It was purely this because the hot shoe. This is just from this thing. It's nothing from the camera came off.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, that flash is a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
It
Well,
was not. It was not clearly not ready to collect bags.
no. Let's be clear here. The bag was collected.
Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. We got to handle business as soon as we walk in.
Oh, 100%.
Excuse
And
me. Where's the bag?
what was that?
I said, excuse me. Where's the bag? Thank you. Secure it. Then begin.
No, but little serious tidbit from that. I always keep extra flashes with me. So, even though that one broke, I still have my old Nikon ones. I popped that thing right on. I mean, I'm shooting manual anyway, so I'm not using TTL. So I just put the other one on and, kept the party going. It's just having spare anything on a wedding day is going to save you. A spare of like the same equivalent thing, right? So, for example, when we got the end all 35 to 150, the Tamron one, I still kept my 24 to 70 because if the Tamron goes out during a wedding day, the 24 to 50, I can finish a wedding with a 24 to 70. I'm sorry. I can finish a wedding with that. The 70 to 200, I didn't need anymore. The 70 to 180 or whatever, you know what I mean? But like the 24 to 70 will get you by because it's a solid backup. But you were saying?
Well, you talking about spares? Like,
Mm-hmm.
can you imagine that there's assholes out there that go to shoot weddings with one camera?
See, I can't fathom that because you know me. I don't have anxiety. I don't really like buy into the like. I feel like there's so much that we can control that like I don't let my emotions get the best of me most of the time. Um, but something like that would put me on edge the entire time.
Yeah,
Y-
I mean,
Yeah,
I've been on weddings where like I've had a camera get fucked up for a second.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So I couldn't imagine anybody being that stupid to put themselves in that situation. Like even if you have to go buy a shitty Sony A6000 or like something crop, like as long as you have something. I couldn't imagine being at a wedding, the camera gets fucked up, and now all of a sudden you're just sitting there holding your dick. Couldn't imagine.
I mean, I couldn't have put it any more poetically, I think. Uh,
Very eloquent, very
yeah.
eloquent words by me.
Here's the thing, also though, like even with getting a spare, you don't have to get a new one, which is what I did.
Yeah.
So I had the A9 right as my main camera, and then I picked up an A7 III with 20,000 clicks on it for $1,100. So to me, I go, that's a no-brainer. So now I have a camera that's very close to what I have as a backup. Instead of, if you have to, yeah, of course, something is better than nothing. But instead of buying a brand new A63 or 6400, get a used A7, two or three actually three because the two only has one card slot, I believe. So that way you have a backup for minimal amount of money.
So, an underlying tone right here is even if you're collecting big bags, it's still important to not waste money.
Preach.
Speaking of wasting money, your boy got that Canon RF 135 and promptly sent that back. What a shitty focal length. What it's, like I knew it was a shitty focal length going into it, but I was like, you know what, fuck it. It's RF glass, it's L mount, it's got to be great. Like I was like, I mean L series. I was like, this is gonna be baller. It's shit.
Did I not tell you that? Wait, remember, I had that. Not the. I didn't get the Canon because I never betrayed Nikon that badly. But I got, what was it, the Sigma 135? I think they make a 1.8.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you elaborate, which is basically the same point that I was telling you about why I returned it also.
Yeah, it's just a piece. I mean, it's just a piece of shit. Like if you, the compression and the bokeh is just not there. Like if you took the 70 to 200 at 200, or hell even 135, 150 after, like it just looks so much better. Like I guess the only thing that you're getting out of it is a few more stops of light in case you're in like a dark venue, and maybe, but like I mean, with cameras today being able to go high ISO and still be clean as shit, like you can't
Yep.
use that as an excuse. Yeah, I just didn't like it. Like it, just the
Yeah.
focal length for me is not. It just sucks. I think the sweet spot, and if people want to go check it out, you got a review of the Sigma 105. Like I think the 105 is my favorite portrait focal length.
Yeah, I would agree. I think even better than the 85. And I did mention that in the video. So if people want to see a longer version of what I was talking about there, go check out the video on my channel. But yeah, I just the 135. Exactly what you're saying is. I remember I did a social experiment. I said, okay, I took a 135 shot at 1.8, and then I took a 135 shot at 2.8 with my 70 to 200, and then I did a 200 at 2.8 to compare. Okay, is it worth carrying an extra lens for whatever look you're getting? Truth be told, even some of my team members, they couldn't tell the difference. So it's like, well, if you guys can't tell the difference, and you're seasoned photographers with a keen eye, how is a couple going to be able to tell the difference when portrait mode on an iPhone looks similar? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's hot garbage. I don't understand anybody that would like to shoot with that focal length at all. Um,
Going back to the money situation, it's the way that I look at it is, why would I spend that amount of money on a lens that's not giving me really anything different over maybe the 105, 14, or like well, you like the 51 too. You like the look of that, but at least it's giving you some sort of look. I'm not a huge fan of spending that much money on a 50, but you got bags on bags, so I can't relate.
no. Listen. I'm trying to get on y'all's level. I mean, we should mention, Elmer promised a podcast in Vegas, and
Would you like to? Would you like to tell the people the truth why we didn't?
we fell asleep on the couch.
We
Oh, was it me? I fell asleep on the. Well, there's a photo. There's a photo circulating of both of us asleep on the couch.
Okay, I was about to elaborate. We fell asleep for about an hour.
I was asleep for much longer than an hour.
You were asleep from, I think it might have been like 6 until about 11 p.m. So we literally paid a plane ticket, came across the country on Spirit, your favorite airline, and that just just to take a nap in a hotel room on a Saturday night.
I mean, it was peaceful.
Hey, I'll tell you this: it was better than an Usher concert.
Oh, I know. Can you imagine? They paid $400 to get those tickets.
To tell everybody else, the people that we went with to Vegas, my girl and a few of our friends, they ended up going to the Usher concert, and we thought that was a ridiculous idea, especially at $400 a ticket. Not happening. So we were going to do a podcast in person, but then then somebody was sleeping for 5 hours that evening.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't even be bothered to wake up to do it at that point. Like once you get into like a nice sleep, like it's hard to interrupt that. But then we went out and got tacos and that burrito was amazing.
I was gonna say, but what woke you up?
Food.
Yeah, damn right. I mean, I was pretty hungry too. So
Yeah.
yeah, after that, yeah, it was a good night. I mean, and that's another thing. Like I always like to say is when we go on vacation or when we go on trips or anything like that, don't put such high expectations. Like we have to do this and we have to do that. It's like if there's time for it, we'll do it. You know what I mean? Like because with us, constantly it's work from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. Especially with you, with your you have 2 jobs, so you got that 2 job money, as we always like to say. We love pointing that out. Um, but it's like when you're on a vacation, don't put such high expectations of I have to do this. If it happens, it happens. If not, we'll do it on the next one. You know what I mean? Like we just won't take a nap for so long.
See what I say now is instead of two job money, I got that two kid money.
Nah, shit.
Yeah.
They sliced that thing right out, huh?
Them them bastards expensive.
Yeah,
Expensive.
yeah.
But we're back, so we did get our name. We're gonna try to get that out in the proper channels this week, and we're back with y'all today. We went over trash trash Sony hot shoes.
Mm-hmm. Because it's not like I said, it's not Godox. Like I can't put the blame on them because if you look at Godox, they'll make Canon hot shoes, they make Sony hot shoes, they make all the other brands. They're all fine. It's Sony that decided to do this little piece of garbage right here, which is ridiculous, and it's mostly plastic. Now, Andrew says that they make a metal one that you can replace, and it's a little bit better. He says eventually it's going to give. Also, Andrew's one of our photographers. Also, shout out Andrew because he left a comment on the last one.
Yeah, got
Uh,
it was a very nice comment.
yes, exactly. And then he says the metal one does last a little bit longer, but it's still going to break eventually. So, truthfully, if I'm shooting a wedding or anything like that, I'm just going to have my assistant next to me bouncing an 8200. It kills, it makes time go by faster for them, as they've told me, and it helps me so I don't have to carry a heavy flash around. So I'll just do that.
But also, like, how stupid is that? Like, Sony, do the job right first up front. Selling another one with a metal like, you want
Yeah.
you want shit products out in circulation? Like, what are you doing?
And that's the thing also. I go, didn't you guys test this? If this broke in 5 uses,
Yeah.
you're telling me that you didn't test that enough? Anyway, don't I'm gonna get hot and under the collar right now. What were the other topics?
Posing and how to get couples at ease. Now,
Oh, okay. Um,
you,
do you want to take?
well, so I'll start. Like, typically, what I'll try to do, because I always notice that like the guys are a little bit more nervous or apprehensive to shoot than the girls. I mean, most guys like when you're a kid and you're dreaming about what your married life's going to be like, they're not thinking about photos and shit like that. The girls will like plan all that stuff out to a T. They got Pinterest boards, so like you already know the guy's getting drug along for something he knows he has to do, but isn't overly wild about doing. So I try to do like maybe some like funny prompts up front just to try to get them to relax a little bit, maybe get them moving a bit. Because I just always found that like if they're nervous, the worst thing you can do straight off the bat is just to have them, and from my point of view, have them in like a stiff pose.
Mhm.
So I'd like to get them moving and maybe get them some funny prompts or get them to do something funny with each other just so he can laugh a little bit and let his hair down.
That, that's very interesting because we kind of take the other side of the approach. So you try to kind of use humor, and that's another thing that we've talked about, is using social intelligence to understand, read the room. So humor works with you because you have that inside you. You do have like that natural charisma. The thing with me is, since I'm not always going to be the one doing the guys, shooting with the guys, and then it's not always going to be the same person shooting with the guys. Like I can't tell them or give them prompts to make them, to say jokes that aren't really theirs, right? So with us, we go on the other approach of keep it as simple as possible, not boring, but it's just very simple. So for example, we'll do the hand in the pocket or the adjusting of the cufflinks or adjusting of the tie, whatever, by a window facing towards really nice light. We have the best man, helping him put the jacket on, just like nice and simple. So everything is very simple. It's more just like kind of capturing what's going on. And then, I do tell them, and the reason I say them is because I never shoot the guys because I'm always lead shooting if I'm shooting. I tell them, you know, um, then you can kind of read their energy. If they do seem fun and they're like, Andrew is amazing at doing stuff like this, like getting them to come out of their shell, because you guys are a little bit more alike. There was one photo where it looked like a freaking NASCAR pit stop, where like all the groomsmen were like adjusting a different part in the groom, and one of them was doing his zipper. And I started cracking up when I was editing because I saw that. I'm like, I can't tell everybody on our team to do that.
What happened?
You know what I'm saying? Andrew can do that. So
You
for the
still
rest of the
there?
guys, I give. Yeah, can you hear me, Scott? Now you're frozen.
Oh, this is weird.
Oh, you froze up. There we go. Now you're moving again.
What happened?
It was fine on mine.
Really?
Yeah. What was happening on yours?
It just froze.
Oh, your screen froze.
God damn it. Okay, so what were you saying? Andrew was doing what?
Andrew, I said he after we did all the normal posing and stuff like that, he did it looked like a NASCAR pit stop. So it was like every groomsman was doing like a different thing. One of them was fixing the tie, the other one was fixing his cufflinks. The groom was just standing like that, and then one of the groomsmen was doing his zipper. And I started cracking up when I saw that when I was editing, because it's like I can't tell our team to go and do that pose, but it's like within Andrew's scope. I'm like, once you get what we need, the normal stuff, if you feel like it's organic, go on and do that shot. You know what I mean? Or not that shot, but like do something fun or do something different. So our approach, I think, is just starting more with the baseline and then do an extra if it calls for it.
So that can be just a lesson for anybody out there listening. Just because, like, if you're following somebody online who you really like, or you're watching Patreon and you're watching Taylor Jackson or any of these people, just because they do something one way, but you're more comfortable with another way, doesn't mean that whatever you're doing is bad. You got to always do what works to you and your strengths.
And going off of that, dude, like the worst thing that you can do is, and I've seen this happen in real life, where they'll see like a certain photographer, like for example, Scott, there are things that you say to your couples that I could never say. It just wouldn't come out organic. It wouldn't come out like, yeah, that's something Elmer would say. You know what I mean? And it would almost come off weird, and vice versa. Like if you tried to talk to them the way that I talk to them, you'd feel like a fish out of water. Like it just doesn't really align. The problem that I've seen is I've seen videographers, because obviously I don't work with other photography teams, but I've seen videographers give them prompts and directions on things that you can tell is not in their character. So they'll say something and it just comes off where like everybody in the room is looking to the side because it just feels so awkward. So, to conclude that is like stay true to yourself. Like if you are a little bit more introverted, be more introverted, because you know what? You're gonna connect more with those introverted type of couples.
Yeah.
Like introverted couple with me, it is a little bit more. I can read the room, so I can kind of tone down the energy and maybe the hand gestures I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, but like somebody that's more introverted is going to click with them a little bit more. So being true to yourself, I think, is the most important thing.
I like that. I like that, kids. Be true to yourself and stay off
I know.
drugs.
Now, going off of and maybe I'll start this one. Now that we kind of covered the guys, getting the couple or ladies a little bit more like at ease in front of the camera. Because what's the first thing that we hear 99% of the time before we start a shoot? We don't ever take photos. We don't know how to pose.
Okay.
We don't know. No problem. That's what we're here for. The analogy I always say is like when I call a plumber, like don't ask me what pipes to use, man. Like that's what you're here for. So same thing with us. Like we're not. Don't come to us and expect that you need to know how to pose. We're gonna help you out. Scott, your open or on air sign looks like horns on your head right now. It's not very
Like that.
Jesus like. there,
I do
there
look
we
like, yeah, I look like El Diablo up in here, don't I? Let me rise above.
go. Ooh, there we go.
Let me come up a little. Oh wow, looks like I have a mohawk.
It does a little bit. I think it's just the angle.
Damn, I got to get on TRT, start getting this hair back,
Well, me and you both. I told you.
get some of this
We're doing
rage, get this rage back in my system.
it.
Yeah, well, no, I like what you're saying because it is true. Like once you get with a couple, like they always will tell you, like we don't do this naturally, and especially before a wedding day. That's why I love the engagement shoots. Why I
Yeah,
always encourage a couple to do an engagement shoot so that you can build a rapport, see what their personality is like, what you can do to get them to feel at ease, what things you shouldn't do. Like you get that feeling out process.
right. And then with us, what I was saying is like the first thing we ask is with the ladies. I go, do you have a side that you prefer? And I'll tell you, man, like I've had bridesmaids like perk up because they go, my photographer didn't ask me that. And it's like, it's such a key thing because a lot of people, I would say like 80-20, 80% of people have a side. 20% of people don't really know or don't really care.
Yeah.
But those 80%, they're going to know exactly what side they want to be on. And it's funny, like sometimes I'll say, first of all, Jasmine, do you have a preferred side? And then the funny thing is the groom will go, well, I always stand on this side. So it's almost like he knows what side she likes because of the side that he always stands on. So that's one thing to kind of get them feeling like you're listening to them and you're putting them to make them look their best. So it's like, what side do you prefer? Okay, great. We're gonna put you on that side, and then we have them turn a little bit, arm around each other in the back. For the groom, usually the hand in the pocket, and then hands, on the flowers a little bit lower. Like all these little things, so they don't have to feel like they even have to think. One thing that I always say is like at a wedding, you're usually a few drinks in. The last thing you want to do is be thinking. So try to put yourself in their position. Like if you have a few drinks in you, you don't want to be, just tell me where I got to go. So as a photographer, we're always sober because we don't drink when we shoot. We,
Oh, you funny dog. Now you've never been in the getting ready room and they're pouring mimosas and they ask you if you want one and you have one?
of course they ask, but no, we, we don't drink.
Whoops.
Not when we're shooting.
I mean, if it's a mimosa, I mean that's like water to me. Well, not anymore because I'm trying to be a good boy.
No, that's a good point though. Is you have to give general rules, I feel like, with the team so there's no confusion whatsoever. So if I say, yeah, you can have a drink here and there, what's a drink here and there to you? What's a drink here and there to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, so to us, we just have a policy of no drinking while we're shooting. Simple as that. That way there's no confusion. Because at the end of the day, let's say we shoot a wedding and we missed one photo out of 5,000 photos. And they saw, let's say Jim was having a drink. Well, your photographer was drinking and we missed this photo. It's like, fuck, now I got to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? It's just mitigating so we don't have to deal with bullshit.
I used to play it by ear. Like if it's a fun couple and I've already been shooting 3-4 hours of dancing and it's at the end of the night and they're like, just put your camera down, come dance, have fun, have a drink with us. Then I'll if I'm cool with them like that, I'll set it down and go have like a little toast with them or something like that. But that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to be Greco level of friend for me to like, but I'm a little bit more stiff, dude. Like it is what it is.
You,
Like I'm not as easygooing as you are, I guess.
we,
When it comes to
you're
work,
more professional.
Well, when it comes to work, dude, I don't want to take any chances. That's really what it comes from. But going back to posing, one thing that I do like doing is walking shots, because walking shots really get them loose and get them moving, so it doesn't feel so stiff. Because once you do the standard pose, once we do that, then get them walking, get, grabbing onto each other, like getting a little more playful, then that side can come out. And the photos always look, great. One thing that I always tell them is it's going to look a lot more natural than it feels. And I always like throwing that in. I'm like, I'm going to show you guys after a couple of runs so you can see what it looks like. And I promise you it's going to look a lot more natural than it feels, because to most people, it doesn't feel natural to be walking and looking at each other while there's a camera right in front of you. So that's on that.
Yeah, it always sounds awkward. Like when I tell them, all right, I need y'all to walk. I give them a direction to me or whatever. You guys got to look at each other and smile, but don't say anything because you'll have weird facial expressions. So it's similar to what you said. I could see how it would feel awkward, but yeah, you have to let them know. It's going to look good. It's going to feel weird walking and just staring at each other for a few seconds, but you'll like the results.
Exactly. And once I give them that prompt, they're usually like, they'll loosen up because I go, you acknowledge that it does feel awkward.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, yeah, you guys are gonna, and then egg them on, right? So like one thing I always say is like you guys are like pros, and I mean that. Like sometimes there's some people that do it, and I go, that's all we need, one take, we're good. You know what I mean? So you kind of compliment them as you're going along, and that goes along with all posing. If they're doing a good job or it's looking great, compliment them, because people will feel good, and they're gonna get on your side the more you genuinely compliment them.
I just wrote down a topic for another pod. It's
Go on.
going to be called Gear Divas. So your boy's a diva. Remember when we were in the desert and you were like the way you would just the sand blowing everywhere and you would just have like the bag open with your fucking lenses. I was like, this asshole is like, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, you mean when I was just we were in the desert and there was a snowstorm, or not snowstorm, a sandstorm coming
Yeah, and
through,
you're just
and
changing
doing this,
out in the open. I'm like, this guy's an animal.
give it a little blow.
Yeah, no, yeah, that'll be for another pod. But I was just thinking about yeah. Not, when I was like, damn, he don't even close the bag. There's sand flying.
I remember that.
Shit, I was blown away by that. Now we got another
Oh man, yeah, I
topic
do remember
with camera hogs. You want to dive into that?
that. Okay, so camera hogs. We were, is that, does that kind of go along with like overzealous guests? Is we put that together, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah, we could
So
do that together.
it doesn't bother me, dude. Like as long as you're respectful. Like, hey, can we get a photo with this group? Oh, of course, come on. That's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? So let's freaking do it. Hey, can we get a photo over here? Let's go. Now, like when we shoot Indian weddings, there's always a few aunties that freaking love group shots.
Oh yeah.
Those I freaking love those people because they're doing our job. Hey, can we do a group shot with this? Of course. Can we do? I'm sorry, I'm bothering. You're not bothering me at all, man. Whatever you need, let's go. We're going from group to group, and now I just covered 80% of the wedding because she wanted to take a bunch of photos. I love that. Now, if you grab me, and I've had that once, this person grabbed me and like they said, "Come here," and I go, "Oh, don't fucking touch me. Tell me where you want to go, and I'll happy to go with you. I'll be happy to go wherever you want to go in the reception, but don't touch me." And like he backed down. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Like, don't be a fucking dick. Like, you wouldn't want to be touched like that."
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's sometimes when they're drunk on the dance floor, like they get handsy or they start having demands. Uh, the last wedding I did, this girl kept having me take pictures of them, and then she kept wanting to see the back of the camera, and I'm like, I want to be like, bitch, you see all this other shit I got to shoot? I ain't got time. This ain't no personal shoot just for you. You just a
Mm-hmm.
random ass guest. You're not even bridal party. I'm just gonna be shooting you and showing you the back of the camera for the next hour. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it gets to a point where it's like it's not about you. Like you got to relax. Most of the time, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? But I can see where if she's constantly, it's like, what do you care for? This isn't your wedding. Like, relax. I got it.
I do so. I before every reception starts, I put 3 or 4 chairs in the corner. And if bitches get out of line, I send them to the timeout. And I said, you need to go. Every time. Listen, you see those 4 chairs? You need to go cool it for 10 minutes.
Please tell me you really do this.
I wish.
No.
You see those? Hey, I'd be like, listen, you see those 4 chairs? You two motherfuckers are getting out of control. I need you to go. You need to go take a 10. Go take a quick 10. If you can recover and come back not so bitchy or bossy, then I'll let you back out here. Otherwise, you can be there all night.
I was gonna say next wedding on your Instagram story, just the 4 chairs.
You know what? Could you imagine like looking at one of my stories and just seeing the corner of the room with 4 people? People just sitting. They got
You know,
you act up on the
the
dance
funny
floor. You got to go
thing,
to timeout.
the funny thing is, I feel like that's some shit you would do. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't shock me. That's why I asked him, like, do you really do
Oh,
that?
for sure I would. Yeah, if I had chair, I'm gonna do this at the next one. I'm gonna put chairs in the corner, and when somebody gets wild, because somebody will get wild. I'm gonna be like, those you need to go over there for 5.
So I think that as far as overzealous guests, I think there's there to wrap it up. It's as long as they're being respectful. Remember that this is what you're there for, right? So to give a story, I remember back in 2014, I was shooting a wedding. It was a destination wedding, and they had flown me out to come and shoot their wedding, and we were just doing group after group after group after group during the reception. And I got the ego in me got a little upset, and I went, you flew me thousands of miles to come and do group photos. You know what I mean? Like, let me do something creative for you. Let me give you something that, like, what you're paying for, right?
Yeah,
And then the grown up in me went, wait a minute. They just flew me out here, paid for my hotel. They're paying me hundreds of dollars an hour to shoot group shots, which the monkey could do this. I don't need any skill to do this. What the fuck am I complaining about? And that was like the moment that I went, yeah, whatever you want. Let's go. Groups, everybody. Like, grandma, come on, let's go.
yeah.
And it was a turning point in my brain where like it really did kind of change the perspective.
And like you always say, the check clears the same way.
So if they're happy, that's the main thing. If they're happy, we did our jobs. And that's what I tell my team all the time. I go, if I'm not there to shoot, remember, taking great photos, we already know how to do that. We should know how to do that if you're shooting for us. The part that I'm more concerned with, were they happy?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, you did your job.
Have you ever had an incident with a drunk guest at a wedding?
A drunk guest?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the next topic, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna let you start that. I gotta plug this phone in because this thing drains it like hell. Let me grab my charger.
You,
Tell the
you know,
people, drunk
I
guest.
might go into talking about our friend from New Jersey. Now, while he wasn't a guest and he wasn't drunk, we did write down overzealous people here. We had a venue manager and or owner. I don't remember what the fuck he was. I think he was just the manager.
The maitre d' or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
General.
Well, he might have had a title, but for that night we just called him Bitch Face because he came out on the dance floor. Now, mind you, this is a wedding that we're shooting of your like childhood best friend.
I've known him since middle school. Yeah.
And you're shooting like his wife and somebody else on the dance floor, and like it's like family. And you said, "Hey, can you grab this person or whatever?" Or I forget what we asked her to like grab somebody for so we could get this shot off. And then he runs over like a little bitch. You never asked the bride to do anything. It was like, first off, first off, motherfucker, like you know these people, like they're friends. Like it, if I don't ask her to do it and she knows this person like that by just entering the room, it could be another 10, 15 minutes.
And not only that, they had already been to cocktail hour. They had already seen older guests. It's not like we were, and I didn't even ask her to go. She goes, "I'll go," and she just ran. I'm like, "Oh, okay." You know what I mean? Like I didn't say anything. So not only did I not tell her to do it, they had already been to cocktail hour. Everybody had already seen them. They had already greeted their guests, and it was just one photo that she needed with a specific person that she knew what, and she just ran. And I'm like, and so I didn't think anything of it. And then go on,
Well,
just to
then you continued to work, and me and Sergio cursed him inside and out, upside down the wall, and told him to get fucked, and he fuck too, because he left and he kept he kept coming back out and getting close, like he wanted to say something. But they took one look at the pythons on us, and he didn't want that.
No, what happened was that was part of that was part of it. But what happened was Dickhead didn't notice what I was wearing. Now, Scott, we've been shooting weddings for forever. There's every spectrum of how you can be dressed for a wedding, but not ever are you gonna see. Not once you're gonna see a photographer dressed in a motherfucking tuxedo. I was wearing a tuxedo because not only was I the photographer, I was my friend's best man.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're gonna talk disrespectfully to us, you fucking idiot. And then it clicked when he noticed what I was wearing, and he goes, "Oh shit!" Because he like when we were lining up, he's like, "Who's the best man?" I go, "Right here." And it's like that's when it dawned on him, the fucking moron.
That, and I don't know, Sergio and I got into his ass pretty stern.
Yeah, you did.
He,
I was pretty
I
proud.
think he came out wanting to be Billy Big Dick, and then got G-checked so quick that he didn't know how to handle himself after that.
Yeah, and the thing is, Scott, I'll be respectful. I'll be uberly respectful to a point. Like I'll be respectful until I feel like a load of disrespect coming my way. Like if you're really that like out of whack where you want to be unprofessional, fuck it. It all goes out the window because that's when I'll really like come out to play. Before that, I'm gonna keep it real nice, real professional. But when you act like a fucking dickhead, that goes out the window.
But it's just another perk to having a team, because you continued to work like the professional, and he and I turned into animals for a few minutes.
You sure did, which I loved because I can continue doing my job. The bride, even though they are my friends, I don't want them to feel any sort of energy. So, like, I continued taking the photos, and you guys took care of business with this idiot. So, I mean, that was nice.
We
Thank
were
you.
like, we can go outside and let these mitts go. Don't you have Salisbury steak to be serving? Like, what are you over here doing? Go get the peppercorns and the Salisbury steak and the gravy out here. Stop fucking with us.
Pretty much, pretty much.
There was a lot of food at that wedding too. But there's
Yeah,
another topic. Oh, ooh, I could speak on vendor
there
meals
was
for a while.
there was a lot. Write that down actually for the next one. I was gonna say there was a lot of food after the wedding too.
Oh, the
Would you like
pizza.
to?
Remember when I thought I was going to actually drive and go get it?
That was a bad idea. Scott doesn't understand that when you order a pizza pie in New York, you're not ordering a personal pizza. And I think in your state, that's what you thought.
Yeah, I was really hungry too.
You ordered enough for the entire floor,
Yeah.
and your boy ended up paying for it. Yeah, it was like $90 for five
Oh,
pies.
damn. I should have been paying for it. What happened to me?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's for another day.
That's right. That's right.
I can't drink like that ever again.
No, that's a fact. Um, Okay, I think overzealous. I think we covered that pretty well. I guess if anybody has any more questions or wants more stories, we got plenty. But we'll keep this moving because we're already 30 something minutes deep.
I think that was the last of our topics, but what we can say is this will go out on an official channel. So
Yeah,
we'll see if we can get a logo, and I can wire up the other stuff, and then we can post this week. So going forward, you guys will be following this on Flashing People. Should we just get Flashing People on Instagram, or do we call it Flashing People Podcast on Instagram?
I think Flashing People podcast. So I think so. I think Flashing People might be misconstrued as something
Something
else.
naughty.
But when we have
Something naughty.
something very naughty, and we're only slightly naughty, so we kind of have to
We're
curtail
good
it.
boys. So what I would ask y'all to do is keep commenting on videos. Keep DM me, DM him, DM us from this account after we create it. Leave comments. Tell us topics that you want us to cover. Um, I think we could cover any and every photography related topic there is, because especially you, but we've got so much experience between the both of us, and we've done a lot of cool things in the industry. So y'all hit us with it. Let us know what you want, and as soon as we get that out there for YouTube and Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Y'all, please go subscribe and follow us and be along for the ride. And you know what? This Riverside has the ability to send out a link to somebody that wants to be a guest. Maybe in an episode down the road, we add another guest to it and let people ask
Yeah,
some questions or something live.
I like that. Yeah, no, that's great. That
Fuck,
was
did we
a
just lose
very
it
prof-.
again?
What was that?
Why is this cocksucker?
And I was just saying that was a very
Am I
professional
frozen? You're
outro.
frozen.
No,
You back?
yeah,
God, so am I disappearing?
I think so because it looks fine on my
Okay.
end.
Well, fuck, I don't even remember what I was saying.
You were doing a very professional outro, and then you started cursing and moving the camera around rigorously.
Well, I froze, so I was like, "What's good?" Like I was trying to like reactivate it. Damn it. Okay, yeah. So, fuck. Oh, yeah. I was saying in the future maybe we can slap some guests in here to ask us some questions live. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but in the meantime, leave a comment. Let us know if there's anything you guys want to see. We have a ton of topics that we wrote down, so there is no shortage on that. But even like with this, if something jumps at us, we'll jump on that first, and then we'll talk about the other
Oh, and
stuff.
some gear review. I think we wanted to talk about
Right.
Magmod and Tamron lenses and things like that. So maybe that'll be the next
Yeah.
ones.
All right.
That's us, guys. We love you guys. Stay tuned.
Yes.
Like, subscribe, leave comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Yes.
Bye, Daddy.